Hello and welcome to TimeSplitters Extra. In this video we'll take a look at a map I've been working on using the map maker in TimeSplitters 2. Essentially, I wanted to try and remake Cyberden from TimeSplitters 1. I chose this level as it has a very basic interior theme, using only right angles and basic corridors. I thought a remake would be pretty straightforward, and be quite well suited to the very limited capabilities of the TimeSplitters 2 map maker. It's important to note that due to a limited tile set, it's basically impossible to create a true recreation of the original level. There's going to be a few differences here and there. You can see the general layout here, with the player starting location just at the top left. If we follow the level from the starting location, we can compare the layout with the original. Unfortunately, even though Cyberden is a pretty simple map, I ran out of available memory extremely quickly. You might notice nearly all of my corridors and paths are made up of the three-way single tile. This tile is actually more memory efficient than all of the other basic tiles by quite a significant margin, but even solely using these, this map is at its absolute max in terms of memory. Originally in this map, I had the lower two areas, which would be underneath the rocket normally, use a multi-story tile, and it worked pretty well. Unfortunately, the memory consumption was so high using this I was unable to complete the level, so instead had to settle for a small dark room. Another gripe I ran into were the 2x2 stairs tiles. They're actually perfect and match the layout of Cyberden ones, but annoyingly they're mirrored. I originally wanted the control room to meet up with the rocket area as it does in the original map, by using the multi-story tile. I was hoping I could place a window between them so you could view in, but I wasn't able to. In this version, the rooms still technically touch, so they're in the correct position. It's just a shame there are so many limitations with this version of the map maker. I did have the final parts of this level, where you collect the secret plans allow you to drop down into the rocket areas as you would be able to in the original. But being unable to use the multi-story tile means I've had to settle for just a basic ring, unfortunately. It's at this stage, when I'd finished the level layout, I discovered the memory consumption was so high I was unable to place down any items. The only way to allow even just a handful of items was to start optimizing every tile in the map quite severely. I wasn't able to place the secret plans until I'd freed up a significant amount of memory. These limitations extend into how many AI enemies you can place in a map. By default, you're given 10 bots to place, which is unacceptable to say the least, when you consider how many enemies there are in Cyberden. The best way around this is to simply make use of the spawn and attack functions. You can spawn an enemy up to 20 times, so that each time they're killed, a further 19 replacements will appear in order, so that's how you'll get the best mileage out of the enemies. I've set all of the bots to the badass cyborg, the only cyborg featured in TimeSplitters 2, but reserved 2 slots for the Reaper splitters. We want those to appear once we've grabbed the secret plans. I've made it so that one of the splitters will spawn in the middle of the map and another at the start. This means you'll encounter them coming towards you as you escape with the plans, but at some stage you'll have one pursuing you and another approaching you from the start. The last thing we need to do is set the objectives. I've set the first objective to be collecting the secret plans, and the final objective to be returning to the start location. The only problem is, the trigger system in this mapmaker is really basic. Even making a return to the start trigger is a bit of a hassle, so I've used a locked door at the start which you can access once you've made it through the level. This isn't perfect. In fact, I wanted to use a second key here, but I wasn't even able to add that. The memory was just so full. With that done, the only other thing I can do is try to alter the lighting to fit the theme a bit more. I'm using the industrial tile set here, which is extremely blue. The original level is more of a brownish grey palette, and it's pretty hard to alter the industrial tile set without oversaturating it. All that's left is to give the level a play. I know I've said this a fair few times already, but please bear in mind that for making story mode maps, the TimeSplitters 2 map editor is very limited, so we can't expect a perfect recreation. For making good story mode maps, I'd recommend the future Perfect Map Editor, as it's just got a lot more freedom and less limitations with it. Okay, well there you go, my attempt at Cyberden in TimeSplitters 2. When playing, it does feel surprisingly similar to the original level. The only letdown, at least for me, is I'd like to have more enemies coming at the player for a bit more challenge. If you'd like to download the map, the save file containing it will be included in the description below, and I'd love to see someone improve it. For now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.